Speculation heating up about who Senators John McCain and Barack Obama will pick as running mates. Are they looking for someone who will help them get elected, or will they base their decision on what they believe is best for the nation? Joining me now is Bruce Weinstein. He is the ethics guy, the ethics columnist for BusinessWeek.com. Good morning to you, Bruce.
Good morning.
So how is picking a vice presidential running mate an ethical issue and not simply a political one?
It's a good question. Whenever we ask, what should I do? And other people could be helped or harmed by our decision, or their rights could be affected, we are asking an ethical question. So who Obama and McCain should pick as a VP is really the ultimate ethical question of our day.
So should they pick somebody based on who can step into the job, should something happen to the president, or should they pick somebody based on what they bring to the table in terms of making it to the Oval Office?
It's all important, and so much of the discussion has focused on the strategic issues. Will this candidate or that candidate help with this demographic? But remember what Bob Schieffer said a few years ago on election night? He said, to be a good president, you first have to become president. So yes, electability is important, but it's not the only important consideration.
You know, when you look back over recent history of vice presidential running mates, really the only one that has been able to deliver something was Lyndon Johnson back in 1960, delivered Texas and gave Kennedy the White House. Since then, there really hasn't been a running mate who's brought something to the table in terms of what it would mean to the campaign. So how do you think these presidential candidates have been picking their running mates, and what criteria do you think they should use to do it?
You know, I talked with a vice presidential scholar named Joel Goldstein, and he said that the modern American vice presidency really began in the Carter administration because Walter Mondale was given access to the president every week and his own West Wing office. And the Washington Post last year said that our current vice president is the most proactive in history. So it's not just the fact that 9 vice presidents have succeeded to the presidency, but the vice president can play an active role in shaping our policy. That's why there's so much at stake in this election, not just for the president, but for the vice president.
Do you think there is more at stake now? I was at a discussion on foreign policy on Tuesday in Washington, and we were talking about this idea of the new model for the vice president is a very active vice president. I think it sort of began with Al Gore, and then, of course, as you said, Dick Cheney has really taken that and taken it to the nth degree. So based on that, does there need to be more of an ethical consideration?
Absolutely. Ethics should be front and center, not just in what the presidential candidates, the presumptive nominees do, but what all of us do, because there's so much at stake for all of us. So really, the first and last question the candidates should ask themselves about a potential vice president is not who will help me win, or not merely who will help me win, but who is best for the country, not just as the vice president, potentially as a future president.
Bruce Weinstein, it's always good to see you.
You too,
always
John.
good to ponder what you have to say.
Thanks
for being with us this morning. We'll see you next week.